Ah, welcome back, everyone. Well, as you can see, I'm lying on my stomach again, and I'm just going to be moving around today. Just to reveal, I found out I have a herniated disc in my back, so I'm in kind of a lot of pain. And so we'll be meditating. I'll be meditating with that. And I'm sure many of you can relate to physical and emotional pain, and it's part of life. So, let's just begin by I'm going to adjust myself and find a more comfortable position. Why don't you do the same? So, once you're adjusted and your body is as comfortable as you can get it, I invite you to do any kinds of movements or stretching that would help you be even a little bit more comfortable. Really taking care of the body is very hard to meditate when the body is screaming at us. So if that requires you lie down today, then do that. If you need to stand up, then do that. Of course, sitting is always welcome, but I cannot emphasize enough that there's no right way to do this, at least in my opinion. We can really get into a place of trying to force, I can get into a place of trying to force myself to sit or to be in a certain position. And what I've learned over the years is that actually being in the position that my body is really needing on any given day is going to result in the most skillful and useful meditation for me. And some people might disagree with me, and that's okay. There are many schools of teaching meditation that are very strict about sitting upright, and they're not wrong either. So listen to your own inner guide on this one and just begin to settle, maybe closing your eyes, but also listening to your inner guide about that. Maybe today you need your eyes open. Maybe it feels safer or better to have eyes open. So, whatever is going to support you and nourish you the most in these next 45 minutes, I really encourage you to do that. And beginning by starting to connect with your breath, breathing in through the nose if you can today, and breathing out through the mouth. Maybe for this part, if it feels aligned, you can open your eyes and we can breathe together. I'll try to look at the camera and I'm imagining each one of you out there, imagining us in a big circle, meditating together, breathing together, co regulating together. And if you want to, there's no have to, but if you want to make a sound as you exhale, I invite you to do that. Imagine that you can let go of any burdens you're carrying around. They can just be out with the out breath. And if making sound doesn't resonate today, Just breathing quietly, breathing into your belly using your diaphragm. Belly pushes outwards with the in breath. And as you breathe out, the belly button goes towards your spine, it goes backwards. Taking a moment to notice if your jaw, your face, or your mouth, there's any held tension or resistance. And maybe just taking a moment to give yourself a little face or head massage, whatever, or maybe for you today, it's your shoulders. You want to pinch those muscles at the near the neck. Just giving yourself a little bit of love through self-touch. I find I hold a lot of tension in my face and in my head. Continuing to breathe with the diaphragm as you do this. Big, deep inhales and nice, slow exhalation. Maybe seeing if your neck needs a little massage. Maybe the front, these scalene muscles can be very tight. And once you feel like you've reached a good place with your self massage, eventually coming to stillness. And again, eyes open or closed, beginning to connect with the breath, the simple in and out of your breathing today. And if you find that the jaw is still tight, coming back to whatever kind of movement or self touch you need at any point. Just checking in. What would feel nourishing and comforting today? Are you needing a hand on your heart? Maybe one on your belly, maybe both. Maybe a hand on your forehead or a hand on your cheek. Just really encourage you to listen to what your body is needing for comfort. Being in the present moment, being with what's real, what's true, is sometimes really hard. And sometimes we really need that extra loving care in order to show up and be present instead of white knuckling it through pain. So see if you can take a moment and just ask your body, ask your higher wisdom, your inner guide, however you want to see it. What do I need to feel a little more supported in this moment? What am I able to do for myself in this moment? And then beginning to meet yourself exactly where you are today, meeting the body exactly as it is. If you're having any discomfort or pain, seeing if you can imagine breathing into the area of the body that is uncomfortable. Imagine that you can breathe into it in a way that gives space to it. Imagining that the breath can go right to these areas or this area and almost like expand so that it doesn't have to be held in the physical body, but it can be breathed through in a more vast space, can allow whatever you're noticing in your body to be held with a little bit more space. And then noticing if there are any places in the body where you're habitually holding tightly or resisting. There's this way that, at least for me, and I think many people, we can kind of brace against life when it's difficult in the body, bracing against pain. But of course, that just compounds it. There's that saying, what we resist persists. Seeing if there's any muscles or areas of the body that you're holding tightly that don't need to be held tightly, that aren't being used to hold you up. I invite you to just imagine that you can surrender this body to gravity. Surrendering to, I sort of have been seeing gravity lately as the way that Mama Earth holds us, encourages us to let go, to lean in. So see if you can let go a little bit, lean into gravity a little bit. Allow Mama Earth to hold you, to cradle you with her gravity. Sometimes I find the word soften to be a helpful invitation. When I breathe out, I sort of inwardly whisper the word soften to my body. So let's practice together in that way for a few minutes, just seeing if you can invite the body to soften, to surrender to gravity. And we're not forcing anything. We're not criticizing the body if it can't. Let go of the muscular tension, not forcing anything. We're just inviting a certain softness, allowing the mouth and the jaw to go slack, allowing the eyeballs to soften and drop back into their sockets. Maybe noticing if you're clenching the buttocks or the pelvic area, and inviting all of these areas to surrender to gravity. And using the breath to support you as you lean into noticing what it's like to be in this body today. So we're not getting rid of anything, we're not fixing anything. The invitation is just to notice what's here, inviting the body to soften, and then using the breath as a way to rest into the present moment. I sometimes imagine that I'm out in the woods in my hammock, and I imagine that the breath is like my hammock. I breathe in, and the hammock sways in one direction. I breathe out, and the hammock sways in the other direction. So, seeing if you can rest into your hammock of breath, letting it just gently rock you. And as you rest in your hammock of breath, noticing the emotional layer of your being today. What's here? What's here in the emotional body? Is it showing up as body sensations? Maybe there are a lot of thoughts. I usually find that if I'm having a big emotion, my mind is often trying to figure it out, to fix it. And there's no problem with that. And just seeing what's here today emotionally. And as always, giving yourself whatever comfort or nurturing are needed to be with what is today. And maybe your inner guide today says, you know what? I'm not going to feel the depths of this sorrow or this grief. That's not in my best interest today. And if that's what your inner voice is saying, then listen to that. Trust it. So, this is a choose your own adventure meditation. You can feel and notice and allow to whatever your capacity is today. I do often find, however, that resisting an emotion, once I finally let myself feel it, usually takes a lot more energy than just leaning into it. And maybe tears come, or maybe you need to yell. And if you're in a space where those things aren't possible, knowing that you can create that for yourself later, can find a space, go yell in your car or in a more private space. So many of us, myself included, for a long time thought that emotions were dangerous, emotions were a problem. It's how I was raised. Shut it down. And I can't remember where I heard this, but something like if you don't resist an emotion, it moves through, the energy of it moves through in about 90 seconds. And maybe I've shared this story before, but I remember this time when I was seeing the Dalai Lama speak, and he was up on stage with someone, and they shared a really sad story with him. And he went from smiling and laughing 1 second to, in front of thousands of people, sobbing on stage, sobbing. He paused the conversation and just sobbed. And then, and then it was done. And about a minute and a half later, he was back in the conversation and he was smiling with the person he was talking to. So that struck me as like, okay, this is how it can be as a human. This is what is possible if I allow my emotions to move through, if I turn towards them rather than running away or pushing away. And I still push away, I still run away. And I just try to catch it. I'm doing that and turn towards. So, in this space, in this moment, I invite you to feel. And again, trust where you're at today. Trust what you're needing most and feel to the level of whatever capacity you're at today. And maybe that means not feeling. Maybe that means intentionally blocking it out today, and that's okay. Maybe it means simply staying with the breath and trying to find a little bit of relief in the breath. So let's practice together as a community in this way, trusting ourselves to feel and allow whatever it is feels possible today. And the space and the loving holding of us all being here together, sitting together, laying together energetically. I'm here with you. And if you need to cry, or need to yell, or your body needs a hand on your face, on your heart, doing what it is you need to support yourself. And maybe it's joy, you know? We focus on the hard stuff, but what if it's joy? Noticing that, feeling that, resting in it, noticing how maybe there's a desire for it to never go away, a clinging. And just notice that. So let's practice together with the physical body and the emotional body, just as they are, seeing if you can welcome yourself today, just as you are, breathing and using the hammock of breath to support you as you arrive more and more fully in the right now, in the this moment, just right now. Coming back again and again to just right now. What's in your awareness right now? And then expanding your awareness once again to include the layer of mind, thoughts, beliefs, stories. And instead of trying to clear the mind, instead of trying to boss it around, I don't know about you, but my mind doesn't respond very well to that. See if you can let your mind just be as wild or as still as it is today. Just let it be as it is. And at the same time, keep coming back to the right now of the breath. The thoughts can do whatever they're doing, but just keep coming back again and again to just this breath, just this moment. What are you aware of? Thoughts are happening, body sensations, emotions, all of it happening. And yet there's this part of you, this witness that can watch it all, is aware of it all. Really aware in this moment of all the layers of your humanness, the body layer, the energetic layer, the emotional layer, the mind layer. Just letting them be as they are. And then connecting with the part of you that is aware of all of it, all of these phenomena that are always changing, no permanence. And maybe to connect with this witness part, maybe you imagine taking the form of an eagle and you catch an updraft. And as an eagle, you soar above all of these ever changing phenomena. You soar above the thoughts. You soar above everything you're feeling in your body. And you have this bird's eye view of your whole life and the present moment. And you can just see it all, can hold it all in the vast space of a very large blue sky. So you're both. You're both the eagle, the witness consciousness. Some of you might use the word soul or spirit, inner guide. You are that which can soar above it all. And you are also this human self, this soul in a body, having a human experience. having human emotions. And yet, when we forget that we are also the eagle, the witness, it's sometimes excruciating to be in a human body. And it can really help to connect with the part of you that can zoom out, can soar above, can see it all. So maybe take a moment to imagine yourself as the eagle or whatever metaphor you prefer. Some way of zooming out and seeing the big picture at the same time, breathing in this moment, just right now. Again and again, coming back to just right now, zooming out, seeing it all from above and feeling it, and also really connected, or at least intending to connect to this part of you that is actually timeless. It is the only thing that's not changing. This witness consciousness, this awareness. Some traditions call it emptiness, some call it love. So, whatever it is for you, connecting with this part of you that is connected to everything, can see everything, can know everything, and can realize that you're having a human experience, but you're also this vast consciousness. And this vast consciousness, this loving presence, it can hold it all. It can hold all of the human messiness, can hold all of the chaos of a human life. And as you rest here, as the witness consciousness that you are, and the human having a human experience in a human body, I'm going to read you a poem. It's one that I really love. And if you want, if you like, listen, let the words just kind of drift over you. And if it feels better to stay just simply connected to your own breath, your own inner experience solely, then absolutely do that. The poem is by Naomi Shihab Nye, and it's called Kindness. Before you know, actually, I'm going to have a little drink before I read this to you. Before you know what kindness really is, you must lose things. Feel the future dissolve in a moment like salt in a weakened broth. What you held in your hand, what you counted and carefully saved, all this must go so you know how desolate the landscape can be between the regions of kindness. How you ride and ride thinking the bus will never stop. Passengers eating maize and chicken will stare out the window forever. Before you learn the tender gravity of kindness, you must travel where the Indian in a white poncho lies dead by the side of the road. You must see how this could be you, how he too was someone who journeyed through the night with plans and the simple breath that kept him alive. Before you know kindness as the deepest thing inside, you must know sorrow as the other deepest thing. You must wake up with sorrow. You must speak to it till your voice catches the thread of all sorrows and you see the size of the cloth. Then it is only kindness that makes sense anymore. Only kindness that ties your shoes and sends you out into the day to gaze at bread. Only kindness that raises its head from the crowd of the world to say, "It is I you have been looking for," and then goes with you everywhere, like a shadow or a friend. Love to complete our time today by dedicating the merit of our practice. May the fruits of our practice today spread outwards in all directions and help to end the suffering of all beings everywhere, including our own. Bow to each one of you. Thanks for co creating this space and this energy today.